This is not relevant to this video. I just wanted to show that I own a yeet ball now. Hey, it's Snake, and ever since I started taking speed cubing semi-seriously, I've had a bit of a problem. These are the two lubes that, up to this point, have been the only lubes that I've used in my speed cubes. I have a DaYan 37 and Mystic, both from the cubicle, and these work fine. DaYan 37 makes my cubes nice and fast, and I use Mystic to kind of smooth them out and give them a little bit of dampening because sometimes they can be quite noisy. And I always turn to these two lubes because I've never really found it necessary to slow my cubes down. I've never been subjected to the nerves of a competition, so that will probably change when I actually take the time to go to a competition and, you know, do time solves to get official on, like, my WCA profile or whatever. But if I have a cube that turns absurdly fast, I've just kind of learned to get into the mindset of controlling my turning. For all you audiophiles out there, trying to use lube to slow down a naturally fast cube, to me, that's kind of like trying to use EQ to change how a pair of headphones sounds. Every pair of headphones has its own natural characteristics that really are just kind of diminished and make them less unique if you try to, you know, EQ the hell out of them. The same goes for a cube. Even if it's like absurdly fast and difficult to control, you may find some unique characteristics in the turning that only stand out if you haven't been using lubes to slow it down like crazy. So that goes into my decision to only use fast lubes in my cubes. But even then, these two lubes have given me some issues that I've been wanting to find ways to address for a long time. And that is the long-term usage of these things. I don't like cleaning my cubes. I don't think anyone does unless you're a masochist, because having to grip the pieces and, you know, work a wet towel into the nooks and crannies, it tires your fingers out if you're doing a bunch of them. But these two lubes are a little bit finicky with how they last. DaYan 37 is the worst offender in this regard because it dries up way too fast. After only like a couple dozen solves, I will sometimes find myself needing to put a couple more drops of this stuff in. And the worst part about both of these lubes, but again, particularly DaYan 37, they leave residue all over the internals of the cube. Not to mention, with each subsequent application between cleanings of the cube starts to get, like, gummed up to the point that when you turn slowly, it feels kind of sticky, and it can get to a point where the magnets in the cube stop doing their job. So even though these two lubes are pretty good at what they, you know, what they set out to do, they dry out way too fast for my liking, and they get the insides of the cube way dirty. They're hard to clean. Sometimes I've had to use isopropyl alcohol to get the residue from these lubes out, but that is where the FZ Lubes come in. Ever since seeing the Cubicles video announcing FZ Glide, I've been in talks with people in the r/Cubers Discord server, and talking about some of these problems that I have with DaYan 37 and Mystic. And what a lot of people have told me is that these problems are ones that the FZ series of lubes aim to solve. And I gotta give a shout out to Mr. Freddy Z. I haven't actually learned what his full last name is. I gotta give a shout out to FZ because he is a chemist. I actually had an interest in going into a degree in chemistry when I went to college for the first time. And I was pretty good with chemistry too, I think. But then I threw all those prospects away and decided to become a VTuber and musician. I mean, that's just life, isn't it? So right out the gate, I definitely have respect for FZ due to the fact that he is a chemist. So I would imagine that he knows what he's talking about and what he's doing when it comes to making these lubes for the cubicle. But we're gonna find out today. I have a handful of cubes that I have freshly cleaned right before I started recording, as well as just a couple of cubes that I bought brand new just to find out how these lubes affect brand new cubes. So what we've got here is all 3 of the FZ lubes that have been released as of this time of recording. We've got the FZ Rush, FZ Calm, and FZ Glide. And it's time to bring out the cubes that I'm going to be testing these on. For the existing but recently cleaned cubes, I have got a GAN 14 MagLev. After having cleaned this, it does feel quite a bit dry. When I cleaned this, I hadn't put too much DNM37 or Mystic in it, so the residue and the stickiness weren't too bad, but there definitely was visible residue in there. What have we got next? We've got, this is an RS3M 2021 MagLev. This is basically the same thing as the RS3M 2020, but it's got MagLev in it instead of springs. This is a very interesting cube just because of the way it feels and how it is distinct from the RS3M 2020. A lot of people are pretty divided on this cube. Some say that it was like MoYu trying to get in on the trend of more manufacturers putting MagLev in cubes, but others, like myself, appreciate just the speed and how it makes turning feel so much more effortless. The magnets are a little weak for a cube that is this fast, but you know, we're gonna put some of these FZ lubes in it and see what that does for it. This is a DaYan GuHong V4. Magnets are quite strong. They provide a nice tactile bump on every turn. This cube doesn't feel that dry. I may not have cleaned it that thoroughly, but we'll just see what happens when I start putting the lubes in it. And finally, we've got this Super RS3M with MagLev and the ball core. You know, this is the one with the gold plastic that people said breaks all the time. I've not had my ball core break yet. I can shake the cube around and, you know, there's no rattle or anything. Maybe it's only a matter of time. I don't know. So, those are the cubes that I currently own that I freshly cleaned for the purpose of the tests in this video. Now let's take a look at the 2 brand new cubes that I got. And, again, these are just budget cubes, but I wanted to get them just for the sake of being thorough and testing cubes out of the box. First, the YJ Mini 3x3. This is a really nice, this used to be my travel cube. Like, I used to pack this in my bag before realizing that it was just big enough to fit a full-sized Super RS3M in. And also, because it's so cheap, I can hand this to a non-cuber and, even if they, you know, find a way to ruin it, I don't have to worry about it because it only costs like, what, $7 or $8 or something like that. It's a really good cube for the value, and if you need something small that you can take anywhere you go, this is my best recommendation, hands down. I mean, this is a 3x3 that's the size of a 2x2. If you want a testament to how small it is. And then the other brand new cube I'm gonna test these lubes out on is just an RS3M 2020. You know, only one of the greatest budget cubes of all time. So, these are our test subjects. We got the lubes here. I am now going to christen in this FZ Glide, and I'm going to hope it doesn't come out as I'm uncapping it. We've got the syringe tip on there, and it is now ready to go. So, what am I going to start with? Let's start with the RS3M 2021. This is the one I'm the most interested in. And because it's so, like, frictionless, I think testing the FZ Calm will be really good. So, the way this FZ Glide works is that what you're supposed to do is pull an edge out like that, and then just inject some of this stuff into the track. Oh, geez. Okay, yeah. It does come out quite fast. I need to control my injection here. And then from there, it is very interesting. It's kind of, it's not like any lube I've ever used before. It's like a gel. It just sticks. All right, we're gonna just try to shove this back in while messing up, while making a mess inside the cube as little as possible. Whoa. Okay, hold on. Okay, I need to put some of it on the pieces. That is wild. I don't know if it came through on the microphone, but I just heard the sound as the cube turned dampen in, like, real time. This... this is ridiculous. This feels nothing like right after I'd cleaned it. Oh my god. Are you hearing I can't even solve this cube properly. I've never, I mean, it goes without saying that I've never used a lube like this before, but that is ridiculous. Like, one of the issues I had, as like fast and effortless as turning on the RS3M 2021 is, you know, when I would use DNM or Mystic in it, the pieces still felt a little loosey-goosey just because of the way they interacted with the centers, but the FZ Glide has just completely eliminated that. This cube is no longer like a noisy, rattling... I don't know what to say. I have not... I feel like this is like a lube that I've never... Okay, this cube is still quite fast, so I'm gonna put some FZ Calm in it now. I think it only takes a couple of drops, right? I can't get over... Okay, I think we need a little more. This may be a little over-lubed, but if any excess seeps out, then I'll just, you know, wipe it off and we'll keep going. It's actually not really slowing the cube down that much. It just makes it feel kind of... I can't describe this, because I've never felt anything like this before. Well, I'm not 100% certain the effect the FZ Calm is having on this cube, but what I can say is that these lubes are definitely... This does not feel like... This doesn't feel like an RS3M 2021 anymore. At least I'm not putting Rush in this. I think putting the FZ Rush would have been a bad idea. Yeah, I'm starting to wonder if slowing the cube down... It's kind of doing it, but I'm starting to wonder if slowing the cube down is even really the point of FZ Calm, or it's making the cube feel really smooth more than anything. So maybe that's the real purpose of FZ Calm. I would need to watch the Cubicles video on it again. But overall, just on the first test, on like one of the most unruly MagLev cubes, right out the gate, I am very impressed. FZ putting his knowledge as a chemist to very good use. There's a little excess seeping out, but I'll deal with that as it comes. I might not be fully well versed in how to lube these things up just yet. Right, let's give the GuHong V4 a shot now. I believe this is a V4, I forget. I don't think I'm gonna put quite so much of the FZ Glide in this time. This cube is also quite fast, so I expect the Glide to speed it up a little. This is hard to do when there's a microphone right in front of my face. Okay. The FZ Glide has definitely done some work. I may need to add a little more of it, but let's try the FZ Calm instead. This cube naturally has some weird catch problems, but good lord, I am now just making a mess. I think I'm putting way too much lube in this and it's getting on the outside. That is quite smooth once again, though. This has always been kind of a weird cube because, like, the magnets are extremely strong for what it is, and it has, you know, that sort of tactile bump at the end of every turn. But I quite like it. And I believe the sound of this cube has been also dampened by the FZ Glide. Very cool. I do like it quite a bit better than when I was constantly just putting DNM and Mystic into it. Alright, next. This Super RS3M. I don't know how thoroughly I clean this. It doesn't feel... maybe it's a little dry. I don't know. Let's just mess around with these lubes and find out. Oh, that's speeding up a little bit. Wow, that's feeling a lot better to turn. Let's put some more on the pieces. I want to see if I can get the sound to dampen a little. I don't think it's dampening the sound, but it is certainly changing the feel. Wow. The turning almost feels, like, soft. It's one of those things that's super difficult to describe, and the camera, I don't think, does it justice. I mean, this cube is good to go with the FZ Glide, or, yeah, the Glide on its own. But what if it was faster? Let's give this FZ Rush a shot. We'll just put a couple of drops of that in. Whoa, okay. Yeah, so the difference in that is immediate. It is already noticeably faster, but honestly, it doesn't feel uncontrollably so. That probably has to do with the corner-to-core magnets in it, kind of stabilizing each turn. I feel out of practice with this, probably because there's a microphone right in front of my face. I've got a microphone in front of my face. I've got a microphone in front of my face. I'm getting distracted because I've got a microphone in front of my face. Wow, okay, so just a little bit of FZ Glide in the tracks and on the pieces, and then a couple drops of FZ Rush. And this cube is already just... That setup took very little effort. Alright, here's the one I'm excited for. The DaYan 14. This is one of those cubes with the corner-to-core magnets that have that ridiculous amount of self-correction. So I'm just gonna take a piece out and we'll see what this does. That is quite a lot. I'm a little worried about that. Actually, it might need some more. Every cuber is probably screaming at me like, no, don't put FZ Rush in again. I think it could use it. Yeah, I can feel when I turn it slowly that the pieces are a little grippy still, no matter how much FZ Glide I put in. So I think I will give the Rush a try. I think the corner-to-core self-correction is able to do its work a little more with a Rush. Wow, this... setting these cubes up with these loops actually took way less effort than I expected. I usually have to put like a metric ton of DNM into the cube if I want to actually feel the effects of it. These FZ Lubes, on the other hand, feel very efficient in, you know, how little it takes to start feeling the effects of it. And for the case of this DaYan 14 in particular, the effect is actually quite subtle, I think. But it's definitely there, and it makes the cube feel really soft to turn. I wonder if maybe I should try the other DaYans in my collection. I have a DaYan 12. Well, we'll worry about that in a bit. Let's unbox these brand new cubes and see what it does to something where I haven't put lube in it a bunch of times and then tried to clean it out and possibly left some residues of these lubes that I no longer plan to use. All right, let's start with the YJ Mini 3x3. I think there's a screwdriver inside here. I might need that, actually. God, why is this tape so strong? What the hell? Oh, there it is. Oh, oh my God. Okay, yeah. This is a brand new cube, all right. It is very dry, and I think it's, well, the tensions are, okay, the tensions are quite uneven, so let's, why are there spare magnets in here? What? Well, it's not enough to add additional strength to the magnets in the cube. That's interesting. All right, well, let's see. I know the GES thing is a feature that is exclusive to DaYan cubes, but this is why I don't like tensions, cube, ordinary screws, and why DaYan is stupid for combining ordinary screws with the numerical tension adjustments. Stinks having to kind of eyeball this stuff, but I think we got some decent tensions here now. Okay, I think those tensions feel good. This cube is still very dry though, so let's pull an edge out and fix that real quick. Okay, well, it's already, the way it feels has already changed. It does not feel quite as dry anymore. Oh, I hear the sound starting to dampen from that. Okay. All right, let's try the FZ Calm in this one. Oh, that slowed it down quite a bit. Wow. Okay, now that I've had some time to really break the lube in, I can definitely feel it and hear it doing its work. This cube is already ready to go, and that only took however long. I wasn't keeping track, but I would wager that it was less than 10 minutes. I want to try something. Let's see if I can remember how to... There we go. This little cube is perfectly suited for that thing. Yeah, also, if you have, if you want to get into one-handed and you don't have, like, larger hands or longer fingers, this is, like, absolutely perfect. All right, last one. The RS3M 2020. This is just a goated budget cube. It's gonna take a bit more of an involved setup, though, I think. Can confirm, this cube is very, very dry out of the box. Okay, I think that is about good to go. The friction is a little exaggerated, though, because, newsflash, this cube is still very, very dry. But let's get the FZ Lubes to change that. Oh, I can hear the sound of it changing again. It has now gone from very dry to quite smooth. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's what we want. This does not sound like or feel like any RS3M 2020 that I've ever lubed with DNM or Mystic. And just for good measure, let's do a couple drops of FZ Calm. Just get all three of them into the mix, why not? Very cool. All right, so I think finally we're just going to do a handful of solves going through all of the cubes that I have applied this lube on. All right, I've got all 6 of the cubes I've put these lubes in scrambled. Let's just get moving, I suppose. There we go. I don't know what else you want me to say. I mean, if you've grown tired of the typical water or silicone-based lubes that people are putting in their cubes all the time, then in my opinion, the FZ Lubes are a no-brainer. You should just get them. Clean your cube out, put some Glide in the tracks and then on the pieces, and then fine-tune it using Calm and Rush. This is a setup right here for this cube. I don't know how it gets much better than this. As for the whole longevity thing that these lubes aim to address, that'll be for, you know, after I've done hundreds and hundreds of solves on these cubes and maybe reapplied these lubes a few times. Maybe I'll make an update video on that, just saying like, oh, you know, this is how the FZ Lubes are holding up a month later, how many times I've had to reapply them in these particular cubes and so on. But yeah, those are just my first impressions of the FZ Lubes, FZ Calm, FZ Rush, and FZ Glide from the Cubicle. I will put a link to the Calm and Rush bundle as well as the Glide in the description. Go ahead and give these a try. They are unlike anything I have ever felt in you know, the lubes that I've been used to up to this point. But yeah, that'll be about it. Thanks for watching, everyone. I will talk to you all later.